So hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to season 3 and we start it right here. You'll notice on screen we've got some changes already, but let me take you through them. First and foremost, we are back to the Pirelli tyres this year, and you will notice that Lando Norris is now one of our drivers. How did we get Lando Norris, you may ask? Well, he had a very poor year at McLaren. McLaren as a whole had a very poor year, and he wasn't happy. We managed to get him in over Esteban Ocon. We are paying a lot of money for Lando Norris. $17 million annual salary. It's quite a big expense for us here at Andretti Cadillac, but when he was available, none of the top teams were really moving drivers. It made sense to get Lando Norris in. Pierre Gasly is still in car number 2. Staff-wise, we have got Xavier Marcos Padros in. He was, if you remember, signed last season, but we've got him in at the start of this season. He's going to be Pierre Gasly's race engineer now. And we've got Josh Pecky, who is going to be Lando Norris's engineer. Josh knows the team very, very well, so it made sense to get him in with Lando Norris. That's all that. If we have a look at the car analysis wise, I'm a bit more optimistic this year. If we just have a look at the rank on the grid, we are never going to be the best in terms of the powertrain. We are stuck with the Renault engine. That's something we just have to deal with. Top speed and acceleration, we're not the best at, but look at this little area here, because on the high speed cornering, we are ridiculously good. And going into Bahrain, I would expect us to have a strong performance for the start of this season. So I'm excited to see what this car can do. Of course, we do start in Bahrain. Just to bring you up to date on a couple of changes, we've got Haas, who are now Alfa Romeo Haas. Obviously, Audi took over them, but Alfa Romeo now assigned to the Haas team. We've got a couple of new liveries as well with Ferrari and Red Bull, so something to be excited for there as well. And if we just have a look, if I will find the driver changes, which is what I'm hoping we will be able to find. Just give me a second. And the driver changes are here. We've got Max Verstappen and George Russell in the Red Bulls, Checo Perez and Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari, Lance Stroll and Alexander Albon at Aston Martin. Carlos Sainz is at Mercedes with Esteban Ocon. Very interesting indeed that. We've got Lando Norris and Pierre Gasly at Andretti Cadillac, obviously. At Alfa Romeo Haas, Théo Pourchaire and Nick De Vries. That looks a very weak lineup, especially Nick De Vries in the Haas. Kevin Magnussen is at McLaren with Oscar Piastri, and Antonio Giovinazzi is with Zhou Guanyu at Williams. So we've got a very mixed up grid. Tsunoda and Ricciardo probably the only unchanged team, and Bottas and Schumacher as well unchanged. So very mixed up grid. We've got different drivers in different cars now. It's going to be interesting to see exactly how they all pan out at their new teams. So we're going to waste no more time. I'm going to get through practice, and I'll see you in qualifying for the opening round in Bahrain. This is it then. Final laps in Q2. It's got to say, the field seems to have bunched up a bit, judging by the times. We are currently in P10, but we do seem to have some good pace. This has not been a good last flying lap for Lando Norris, so it must be said. Currently on the cusp in P10, Lando Norris goes to cross the line. Will he improve? Lando Norris up to the line. Doesn't improve by a lot, but Pierre Gasly is green through the first and second sectors. I would not be surprised to see Gasly knock his new teammate, out of Q2 here. He doesn't. It is only good enough for P12, so Lando Norris into Q3, Gasly knocked out in Q2. And this is it then, final flying laps in Q3. He's having a better final flying lap this time, is Lando Norris. It's got to be said, Théo Pourchaire in the Alfa Romeo Haas is got some ridiculous pace at this moment in time. Lando Norris coming up towards the line, currently sat in P9, beating a Ferrari. Where is that going to put him? It's going to put him over Esteban Ocon in the Mercedes. Sainz in the Mercedes, currently topping the board. We've got a few cars though yet to finish, but let's just have a look. By the way, we can have a look at a few liveries here, because the Ferrari looks absolutely outstanding with the Las Vegas livery. Théo Pourchaire is in P5 in the Alfa Romeo Haas. And what a good looking car that is, by the way. Very much appreciate the livery on that. Looks very good. Bottas in P6 in the Audi. Albon P7 in the Aston Martin. Norris P8. Mercedes P9 with Esteban Ocon. Crazy qualifying session as we just go towards the end. Lando Norris is actually going to finish P10. Ocon is in P2. He will be very happy that he's not driving the Andretti Cadillac at this moment. I feel we've got a bit more race pace in us than qualifying pace, it must be said. But Max Verstappen tops the grid on pole position from Ocon and Sainz in P2 and 3. Right then, guys, we are going to split the strategies. Lando Norris has got 2 new sets of medium compounder tyre, and I've got a funny feeling that these could really work for him today. So we're going to put Lando on the soft to start, then go on to the mediums, then another set of mediums. Pierre Gasly in P12. He's starting on softs, onto another set of softs. He's got soft tyres galore as Pierre Gasly, and then on to mediums towards the end. So P10, P12, I think we can move forward from here. Let's kick this season off.
Here in Sakir, the floodlights are on, and it's nearly time for 57 laps around the Bahrain International Circuit. Now I wonder, will things be going Lando Norris's way in this race?
Starting in the top 10 is good, but they'll need to play the race really well to not lose places.
And the time has come. Let's go racing. Here we go with the Bahrain Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go.
And away we go, and it is Verstappen and Ocon straight away at the front. Max Verstappen gets away through in that new Red Bull livery. We'll keep an eye on this just to show you the new livery. It's got that Red Bull. It's a Ford-based one. Looks very, very nice indeed. But Verstappen leads into turn 1 from Ocon and Sainz. Lando Norris battling away straight away in the Andretti Cadillac. Up against, it was Lance Stroll, but now keeps P10 comfortably in P10. But Pierre Gasly has made a move early doors in this Grand Prix. He's passed Lance Stroll, and Lando Norris will now be looking at the back of this Audi straight away. We've got a yellow flag on circuit and a crash. Let's have a little look at what happens here. Are we going to get a safety car early doors? I don't believe we are. Let's have a look what's happened here then. So it's Oscar Piastri in the McLaren, the new ING McLaren livery, and he's just crashed into the Williams. It's a little bit awkward. It's a little bit scruffy on lap 1, but that's put a big gap towards the back there. And look at this lady here. She's worked so hard. He's not angry. He's just disappointed. Worked so hard all pre-season, and then win the first lap. That's what we do. But at the moment, the 2 Andretti Cadillacs are deciding to have a go at each other, and Pierre Gasly's thinking, I should have been in car number 1 this year. To me, it makes no difference. Both of them have got the same setups. Both of them have got the same parts on the car. There's no preference given to either driver. But at the moment, Lando leads Gasly, but Verstappen leads from Esteban Ocon in the Mercedes. First overtake of the season for Lando Norris, and he's managed to finally get Valtteri Bottas with the DRS into turn 1. And as you can see, he very nearly went careering into Pierre Gasly, but Lando Norris now up into P9, and I don't think it's going to be too long. In fact, Pierre Gasly is attacking Valtteri Bottas now, and through this middle sector, this is where we should be particularly quick through the medium and high-speed corners, as Pierre Gasly, as we ride on board, still going at it. Lando's finally got his tyre temperatures under control. But at the moment, Pierre Gasly's having a right ding-dong battle with Valtteri Bottas, but looking like he's just about got the move done. And Gasly is up into P10. Both Andretti's now in the points on lap 5. Verstappen still leads from Ocon, and there's a gap to George Russell in the other Red Bull. Sainz, Teo Pourchaire in the Haas. My word, that Alfa Romeo Haas, what has Gunther Steiner been doing? And I'm starting to wonder who's reflecting the actual pace of this Haas car, because we've got Teo Pourchaire, the rookie, in P6, hanging onto the back of Charles Leclerc in a Ferrari, and we've got Nick De Vries at the back with Daniel Ricciardo chasing after a Hugo Boss in P20. What a difference between the two drivers. Lando Norris now doing everything he possibly can to catch up with Alexander Albon in this next gaggle of cars. Lap 7, Valtteri Bottas locking up in the Audi. That Audi sport car still looks fantastic, by the way. He locks up and just goes a little bit wide. And that drops him out. His tyres were not looking good a couple of laps back. They're certainly not looking good now. We are hoping between Norris and Gasly at the moment that they can sort of DRS each other into the back of this next gaggle of cars, because if we can do that, that is going to help our race no end, as we see Pierre Gasly, but we've told him just be respectful with the overtakes. We've no reason to really sort of attack each other at this point. If we can get back into the DRS, which we believe we now nearly have, that is going to suit our race very much. Lap 7. Lap 9, Lando Norris doing the business up into P8. It was a lovely move round the outside of Alexander Albon in the Aston Martin. He's now up into P8, and it's got to be said, if you watched my F1 Manager series last year on F1 Manager 22, Pierre Gasly was very much my main driver in the Aston Martin series bit. And then when we moved to Ferrari, Lando Norris won me a world title. Can he do the same for me at Andretti Cadillac? It's yet to be seen. But straight away, look at this. Lando Norris is attacking the Ferrari of Checo Perez. And into the left-hander, he gets the job done. And through the high-speed corners, this is where this Andretti is built to thrive. Can it get past the Ferrari? Checo Perez still sticking his nose in down the inside as we now ride on board with Lando Norris. Can he pull away from this Ferrari? He certainly looks like he can as we are back to the TV camera, and it looks like we're going to get DRS down this next straight. No, we're not. It's going to be the Ferrari. That's going to help Checo Perez no end. But at the moment, we are doing very, very well to be battling. Is it the Ferrari? It is. The Ferrari has got DRS. We will get it down the next straight. But then behind, we've got Pierre Gasly attacking the Aston Martin of Alexander Albon. Can he do what his teammate does? He's gone for a move down the inside. Chose to go for it and possibly compromise his exit a little bit too much. And now he's got the other Aston Martin of Lance Stroll on his back. My word, all happening here on lap 10. But Pierre Gasly's just settled in back behind the Aston Martin of Alexander Albon, and Norris will have another go at Perez very shortly. And I said it wouldn't take long, and it certainly didn't, because down the next DRS straight, Lando Norris this time did make the move stick, and by the time he got round the high-speed corners, he was up and in to P8. And now he's looking at Teo Pourchaire, who is in P7, and he's nearly got the DRS of Pourchaire as well. Remember, Lando coming in early for an undercut onto the medium compounder tyre. This could work very well for Lando Norris, and he's now very much in the DRS of the Alfa Romeo Haas, who's also in the DRS of Sainz. We are on the front few cars here. Leclerc's got the biggest gap at the moment to George Russell in the Red Bulls, but Lando Norris at the moment now very much on for a top 5 finish, I would suggest. Gasly just sat behind these Aston Martins, but remember, has got more soft compound tyres than the rest of, well, certainly the rest of our team, but more so the rest of the grid as well. He's got plenty of soft compound tyres to use as Pierre Gasly, and also a fresh set of mediums too. Lap 13, and Pierre Gasly's been overtaken by the Aston Martin of Lance Stroll. Struggling with tyre temps at the moment is Pierre Gasly. Can't seem to get it in the same window as Lando Norris, and he's getting overtaken by Lance Stroll. It's a good move from the Aston Martin driver. But at the moment, Lando Norris is looking like our best hope. Currently riding in P7. He is going to be coming in earlier, remember, onto the mediums. We're just monitoring the situation at the moment. We have currently dropped Perez by a little bit as well. So I'm hoping he can start making a couple of moves now as Verstappen pumps in the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. We are making an early call with Pierre Gasly. He's just dropped out of the DRS of the Aston Martins. That was reason enough for me to decide to bring him in to the pits. He's not been his best at this moment in time, and we are now into the pits. Are we going to get a decent stop here? It's not the best, 4.1 seconds. We've been working on that a lot in pre-season as well, which is a little bit frustrating. But we'll just have a little look at Lando Norris overtaking Pourchaire. He gets him down into turn 1. He's now on the back of Sainz, I believe that is, in front. So at the moment, that's pretty good for us. Lando Norris now up into P6 and chasing down Carlos Sainz. Now, if he can get back in the DRS of Sainz, that would be absolutely ideal to say Sainz is on mediums. But Pierre Gasly now out at the back, and we are going for an undercut. He has got Nick De Vries to pass, which I'm sure he'll do quite well. But now it's time for him to attack on these tyres and really get pushing now, because he needs to start making up time. And on lap 18, in comes Lando Norris. Pourchaire did just manage to get in front of him, but he is coming in for his pit stop. Pierre Gasly's pushing like absolute crazy at the back as we just have a look at the last laps. Pierre Gasly, as he crosses the line, we'll get a good idea of it as we just watch Lando Norris coming for his pit stop. Let's hope we have a good one, boys. It looks better. It is 2.7 seconds. I think that's our fastest pit stop ever at Andretti Cadillac. I'm hoping we're going to get an idea of this final, this last lap by Pierre Gasly, as he's now right on the back of the Williams of Antonio Giovinazzi. DRS wide open. Lando Norris coming down out of the pits, and that is a decent stop. A big difference there. But Pierre Gasly's just lapped a 1:35.5. Russell's on a 1:37.6, so 2 seconds quicker. That bodes well for us here at Andretti. We bring you back lap 19. Can you remember how far in front Charles Leclerc were? He was quite a bit in front of us. Well, look now, because Lando Norris is right on the back of that Ferrari, and we are going to push to try and get into the DRS, because if we can do that, my word, this could really help our race. Meanwhile, Pierre Gasly now on the back of Daniel Ricciardo in the AlphaTauri, or the Hugo Boss as it is known now. But Pierre Gasly doing his utmost to get past this car in front. But Lando Norris told now, get in that DRS, because if you do, this is massive for our race. We have a crash on circuit, not causing a safety car, but it's Checo Perez and the Aston Martin, I believe, of Alexander Albon. Let's have a little look at this. Just shoves him off, Alexander Albon, into the gravel trap, but that is not going to help Alexander Albon's race. He's back on the track. I don't know if he's got damage, Alexander Albon. I think Pierre Gasly's just managed to get past Daniel Ricciardo as well. He doesn't look like he's got too much damage. Pourchaire is in, and Théo Pourchaire is a man who I think we've got to really look at this season, because at the moment he is doing absolutely everything right. The offset between him and his teammate is ridiculous at this moment in time. He's going on to another set of soft compound tyres. I mean, I'm actually hoping this is a good stop for them, because I'd like to see Théo Pourchaire do really well here today. But Lando Norris now coming down the start-finish straight. Remember, we were fighting with Pourchaire. We are out in front of Pourchaire. We've not managed to stay in the DRS of Charles Leclerc, but what we have managed to do is jump Théo Pourchaire for the moment, and that will help us no end. Pushing on the tyres now. Pierre Gasly's just got him back into the window, and he's now chasing after Lance Stroll. And Théo Pourchaire on those soft compound tyres, certainly he's motoring. He's just got past Lando Norris. So DRS wide open, and past him he goes. Now, this is the interesting bit. If we can stick with Théo Pourchaire now, this is what really benefits our race, because he's on the soft compounded tyres. If we can stick with him, which I'm hoping we can, we're just saving a little bit of fuel with Pierre Gasly as well at this moment in time. If we can stick with Théo Pourchaire, he can keep Stroll and Sainz at bay. We have got the option towards the end of this race to either go on to softs or another set of medium compounded tyre. That is the crucial part. Remember, we got around 16-17 laps out of the softs. I believe Lando Norris has only got a set of used soft compound tyres left. He has, so don't get me wrong, they're 93%. It's not the end of the world. So we may go on to the softs at the end. We may go on to the mediums. We're just going to keep an eye on how these mediums perform against the likes of Pourchaire and Ocon. But at the moment, he's doing very, very well, Lando Norris. He's just got to stick in this DRS, because if he can do that, we are absolutely laughing. But already, look, it's up to 9/10. We will get a double helping of it here. But what's not going to help us is the fact that Théo Pourchaire has now got DRS on Esteban Ocon, who's also on medium compounded tyres. All happening here. Lando Norris has got Esteban Ocon. Théo Pourchaire now getting a bit further up the road on those soft compound tyres. But Lando Norris will enjoy this. I'm enjoying this, because the current Andretti driver has overtaken the former Andretti driver. Lando Norris up into P6. Théo Pourchaire now is 1.7 seconds up the road. But what I am hoping, as Pierre Gasly's just lost a position to Zhou Guanyu, rather interestingly. Let's have a little look at this. Pierre Gasly, DRS. He's not going to be able to defend that. He is conserving fuel, this Pierre Gasly. I'm not concerned. He's going to come strong towards the end of this race. We have decided with both cars now that we're going to be going onto the soft compound tyres at the end. So we're going to be lightning at the end of this race. Early pit stop, lap 32. Ferrari have just brought in Checo Perez onto a set of soft compound tyres. They have got 25 laps to do. Admittedly, they are fresh, but that's going to be very interesting from Ferrari. Can those tyres go to the end? If they can, I'd be half tempted to bring in Pierre Gasly now, who's currently pushing at the moment. But Pierre Gasly, that is far too long, I would suggest, for those tyres. Ferrari might have not done very well there. At the moment, we're just tagging onto the back of Esteban Ocon. We're doing okay at the moment. We've just been having a little bit of an experiment on how quickly we can save the fuel. But at this moment in time, comfortable where we are. Lando Norris is definitely on for P5 today. Whether P4 is achievable, we'll have to see. But Théo Pourchaire, he's doing a great job in the Haas Alfa Romeo. We've got a crash on circuit, and a safety car would really have helped us there. As Yuki Tsunoda attacking the Audi down the inside. Just don't leave each other enough room. And the Hugo Boss is looking like it's very much compromised. I wouldn't be surprised to see that coming into the pit very shortly. Unfortunately, all this is happening behind us. But at the moment, Esteban Ocon doing enough, just exchanging places with Lando Norris, but we are now starting to reel in Théo Pourchaire, and remember, we're onto the softs at the end. I'm assuming, as is Esteban Ocon, as is Pierre Gasly, who's just dropped off a little bit now, but I expect once we've got the fuel in order, he's going to be very, very quick towards the end. Lap 36. Théo Pourchaire is in, and he's just come out of the pit stop, and he's into the medium compounded tyre, so Pourchaire, and he's just happened to come out behind an Andretti Cadillac. That's not going to be the easiest car in the world to pass for Théo Pourchaire, I can assure you of that. We do have another yellow flag on circuit. It's Yuki Tsunoda, who's got to be said, he's not having the greatest race of his career here, Yuki Tsunoda. Let's just have a look at this. In the Hugo Boss once again, locking up. My word, Yuki, what is going wrong? Yuki Tsunoda was a driver we actually looked at for this season. Pierre Gasly is coming in very shortly. Lando Norris currently now in P3. He's been conserving fuel beautifully all this time. I'm hoping he might even get DRS down this next straight. Zhou's into the pits, as is Pierre Gasly. Let's just keep an eye on this little battle. It's Ocon that's going to get past here, is he? I'm hoping that we're going to manage to keep this place. We certainly are, as we cut back to Pierre Gasly's pit stop. Onto a set of fresh, soft compound tyres, all to play for here. Good stop, 3 seconds. Ocon is past Norris, but Ocon won't mind that, and neither will Lando Norris, because we're conserving fuel now with Lando Norris, sorry. Pierre Gasly is going to come out, I'm hoping. He's not going to come out in front of Ricciardo and Piastri, that's the problem. But now he's got the soft compound tyres. The 2 cars in front of him, one's on very used soft, one's on medium. I would expect Gasly to start charging his way through now on these tyres. And Lando Norris will be coming in very, very shortly. Lando Norris was sounding a little bit stressed there on the radio, but Lando Norris is in to the pits for his final pit stop. Please make this a good one. Please make this a good one, because we think we've found a gap between Pourchaire and Schumacher to get him out into. I don't want any mistakes here, boys. And we haven't got any mistakes. Lovely bit of work. And we're going to hold up the Aston Martin as well, which is fantastic. The Aston Martin going on to mediums. We can hopefully set her to that. Where is Mick Schumacher? He's coming into the pits as well. We have got a lovely gap now with Lando Norris. We've got clean air. We can attack with these tyres. Attack on everything. We will go for it now. 20 laps to go. We're going to push on the fuel a little bit on this outlap as well. And hopefully now try the undercut on Sainz and Ocon. We're doing everything we can to get a podium today. I think a podium's going to be out of reach, depending on what happens with Checo Perez's tyres, because at the moment Checo Perez might struggle to make this to the end. Lap 40, Pierre Gasly is up into P11. Fantastic work from him. Got the DRS on the McLaren of Oscar Piastri. Looks very nice, that McLaren. Let me know what you think down in the comments of the new liveries. Of course, all the liveries are linked in the descriptions below. There's some very capable and very talented people who make these liveries. I simply install them and race them and put them on YouTube. But there we go. Gasly now up into P12. He's got a couple of people in front to pit again. Alexander Albon, I would suggest, being one of them. But at the moment, let's just have a look at the last laps for Lando Norris and Lance Stroll. That's what we're crucially looking at the moment. Where is Lando Norris? So 1:34.4. He's battling away with Lance Stroll. And at the moment, Ocon's on a 1:35.6. We're gaining a second a lap on the Mercedes driver, but Lando Norris is struggling against this Aston Martin at the moment. Let's just have a look at this overtake, because it's a DRS. If you're in DRS, you've got a lot of chances here to make overtakes, and Lance Stroll obviously doing it very, very well there. It was possibly a good time this to start saving a little bit of fuel with Lando. Just make sure that we are steady towards the end. But Pierre Gasly now in P12, chasing after Zhou Guanyu. And if you wanted to know how powerful the undercut was, 5 seconds. Stroll and Norris are now 5 seconds in front of Carlos Sainz, who's just come out of the pits. Admittedly, he's now on nice, fresh. Well, they've actually scrubbed soft compound tyres. Maybe this tyre offset might help us. Verstappen is coming in. Verstappen's got this one. Did we expect anything else at the start of this season? Possibly not. But Lando Norris now just closing up to the back of Albon. Just saving a little bit more fuel. We're doing everything right at this moment. Pourchaire is a little bit further up the road, but I think we can get him by the end. Big moment here. Esteban Ocon is into the pits for Mercedes. Lap 45. And let's see where he comes out. Norris is nearly on the back of Alexander Albon. If he could get some DRS off him, that would help him from his teammate. But where is Ocon going to come out is the crucial part in all this. Zhou Guanyu and Pierre Gasly are coming down the start-finish straight, but it is Ocon out into P10, and that is a big old gap. That's 10 seconds, I believe, from Norris and Stroll. So the undercutters work massively here. We might have got this just right. Albon's going to drop a position, so that's going to be a free one for Lando Norris. Looking in front then, he's got Leclerc on 66% tyres, and Perez's tyres will die by the end. Norris is in a very good position on his debut for Andretti Cadillac, and Pierre Gasly is now closed up to the back of Zhou Guanyu. Lando Norris, lap 46, got the DRS, and he was past that Aston Martin beautifully. Lando Norris up now into P6. Fantastic work from Lando. He's having a good debut today. Let me know also down in the comments, who do you think is going to score more points for Andretti this season? Will it be Lando Norris, or will it be, of course, Pierre Gasly? We are now just trying to get away from Lance Stroll. That's the idea here. Leclerc, what, 3 seconds up the road? We can see him. That gives us something to look at. And what is the gap now as Alexander Albon pits? Lance Stroll's going to get DRS. Will that allow him to get back in with Lando Norris? That is a crucial part to this. Is he going to be over a second? If he is, that's absolutely crucial for Lando. If we can run away now on these soft compound tyres, I am concerned they've got to make them to the end. But hopefully now we will push on. Gasly is right now on the back of Zhou Guanyu and on for some points today. You come back, lap 50. Zhou Guanyu is battling with Pierre Gasly. We're not too concerned about this at the moment. I think Gasly's going to get him by the end. Better driver, better car, better team principal, of course. But no, Pierre Gasly should get Zhou Guanyu in that Williams by the end. But just wait for this, because Lando Norris, remember that Ferrari that were 3 seconds up the road? Well, that Ferrari is now only 6 tenths in front of Lando Norris, who's now got the DRS. He's pulled away from Sainz and Stroll, and this could be absolutely huge. If he can get past Charles Leclerc, I reckon we could catch Checo Perez, and then we are cooking on gas, because if we have a look at the tyre wear, yes, Esteban Ocon has got the better tyres. Carlos Sainz, I think we can defend against. And Lando Norris is going for a move on the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc. Let's have a little look at this through the high-speed corners. I would back Lando. Is he going to manage to get this job done down the inside? Goes Lando Norris, leaves each other just enough room, just forces him a little bit wide. And Lando Norris will now be in front of Charles Leclerc. He has got a DRS zone, which he's now not going to get DRS for. But Lando Norris is well in the fight here for P5, possibly even for P4. Safety car is out just as Lando Norris overtook Charles Leclerc. Now, let's have a little look at this, because we literally just got past him on the DRS straight. It's Giovinazzi and Daniel Ricciardo at the back. Daniel Ricciardo, sparks flying from that Hugo Boss. And I mean, that is just so messy. My word, that is a messy crash. But it's got to be said now, safety car starting. This allows us to charge everything up, conserve on the tyres, and just have a little look at this, because what we do notice is we have got, this is going to close us up to the back of Checo Perez and Théo Pourchaire. But Checo Perez, we could possibly be on for a podium and a grandstand finish with Lando Norris. This is, wow, this is crucial. We'll come back when we get back towards green flag running. Before that, Checo Perez has pits. Checo Perez pits. We don't know how many laps we're going to get, but Checo Perez into the pits for Ferrari. Is that a good idea? Is it not? We don't know. I mean, if I were Max Verstappen, I think I'd be tempted to pit now. But maybe the chance has gone. But we are going to be right on the back of Pourchaire and Russell with the better tyres. We've got Charles Leclerc, who's got the worst tyres as his rear gunner. We're on for a podium, ladies and gents. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have a grandstand finale here on the season opener, because, my word, we've got Théo Pourchaire in front of us, George Russell in front of us. We have got all our battery charged. We are going to push. Safety car is ending, and Max Verstappen will lead us away. Expect this to be a pretty long highlight, because This is going to be such a finish. Max Verstappen leads us away from George Russell in P2. Theo Pourchaire in the Alfa Romeo Haas is in P3 on the mediums. Lando Norris in P4. Then comes Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz and Stroll in P7. Perez P8, Ocon P9. Pierre Gasly, could he make moves towards the end of this Grand Prix? But we know we can attack this Haas. And here goes Lando Norris. We have got 2 racing laps and we're just giving it the beans. This is everything now. Could we get a podium in the season opener? I think Checo Perez is going to regret the decision to pit under safety car, and Charles Leclerc already struggling to keep pace with Lando Norris, and these tyres are not working for him. But Lando Norris, come on my friend. Yes, the tyres are going to work for Theo Pourchaire. We know this, we know this. We're pushing on the fuel, we're pushing on the tyres. We are pushing on absolutely everything here, but we will go for this if we could possibly get a podium. But I mean, the story would be Theo Pourchaire getting a podium. Max Verstappen has already broken DRS to George Russell. Not that it is enabled at this moment in time, but the story would be the Alfa Romeo Haas of Theo Pourchaire getting the podium, would it not? But we want to deny him it because Lando Norris has driven so well today. We just knock it down to aggressive now on the tyres. It's all going to come down to the final lap of this Grand Prix, and my word, this could be such a momentous occasion. We don't seem to have the pace of Theo Pourchaire at the moment, but this is it. Final lap of the Grand Prix. Max Verstappen leads us away from Russell, Pourchaire, and now Lando Norris. Come on, Lando. Can you get a podium here on the season opener in Bahrain? He's pushing everything he possibly can to get him, but at the moment, Theo Pourchaire seems to have the answer, or does he? Because here comes Lando Norris once again. He's still not quite close enough. He's within 0.3 of a second to the Alfa Romeo Haas driver. He's pushing on absolutely everything. Can he somehow? We just go attack mode. Full attack mode for both cars. What is Pierre Gasly doing? He can't quite beat Ocon, but it's all eyes on Lando Norris as we go into this middle sector. He's stalking the Alfa Romeo. Can he possibly get a move? We are very quick through the high-speed corners. I would suggest he's going to have to make it through this next sector to do anything, but this is it. Lando Norris, all the ERS, all the battery in the world, trying to attack this Alfa Romeo, but sadly we don't look like we've just got enough in the bank, and that's probably down to the tyres. Pourchaire possibly now does have the better tyres of the two, but as we come on towards the final stretch, Max Verstappen, as he finishes more seasons nowadays, he's won 2 championships on this series already, and Max Verstappen is going to win once again the season opener here in the new Red Bull Ford. What a performance it's been from him. George Russell in P2, but give a clap to Theo Pourchaire, because if we're going to lose a podium to anybody, that is on his rookie season, his debut for Alfa Romeo Haas, he deserves all the credit. And what a performance from Theo Pourchaire. Lando Norris on debut for Andretti Cadillac gets P4, Leclerc P5, Stroll P6, Checo Perez. Why did you pit under safety car? But let's have a look at the podium.
What a remarkable drive by Lando Norris today.
An outstanding performance today to have made the top 10. Not many would have expected this from the team, to be honest.
But just look at this. The overwhelming excitement for those celebrating this achievement. So after that race, Karun, how do you think the mood will be among the Alpine team?
Well, it was a bit of a mixed bag here. Some things went their way, but others didn't. I think their main target now will be finding some consistency for sure.
And that is about that for this weekend's action here in Bahrain.
In the next round, we head to the shores of the Red Sea as Formula One returns to Jeddah for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix.
That promises to be a fantastic race as well in Jeddah, but let's just have a look at that, because Max Verstappen winning from George Russell, but Theo Pourchaire, my word, what a performance from him. Absolutely brilliant. Fair play. Lando Norris P4, gaining 6 positions, probably up for driver of the day, but I think you've got to give it Pourchaire. Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari finishing P5, Stroll P6, Pierre Gasly in P10 scores some points. That shows we are competitive this season. Driver standings wise is as you've just seen on, it doesn't really make any sense to show that, does it, on the first race of the season. Constructor standings wise, Red Bull are top on 45, then come Haas, Ferrari, and then Andretti Cadillac. P4 I think has got to be the minimum for us this season, and my word, I hope you've enjoyed that first episode. We love a bit of drama at the end. Please do like and subscribe. It's going to be a cracking season, this one, our season 3, and we'll see you on the next one in Jeddah. Ta-ra!